Hi everyone, welcome to our 27th video session at Impaction. Today we're going to be talking to Ashwath, one of the co-founders for Culture Media Co. And we are joined by a bunch of entrepreneurs and innovators around the world right now. Just a little bit of introduction about what we do during these video sessions. Ultimately, it's just a way for us to engage and hear inspirational ideas from social entrepreneurs and innovators around the world. We believe that you don't have to quit your jobs and start an enterprise from scratch to make an impact. You can have conversations with inspirational people, and this can shift your way of thinking as well. So before we get started with this video session, I'm actually going to ask everyone to introduce themselves in 2 sentences or less, so we know who's on the call here today. I'll start off. I'm Shivani, one of the co-founders of Impaction, and I'm based in Chicago, Illinois. Sukanya, do you want to go next?
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Sukanya, one of the co-founders of Impaction, and I'm based in Texas. Tanvi, you want to go next?
Sorry. Hi. Hi, everybody. I am Tanvi. I'm the product manager with Impaction, and I'm based in Boston. Kalyani, how about you?
Hi, everyone. I'm Kalyani. I'm UX designer with Impaction and currently based in Maryland.
Awesome. Thank you. Elizabeth, why don't you go next?
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Elizabeth from Kenya, founder of Passion Organics.
Thank you. Nabil, you want to go next?
Hey, I'm Nabil. I'm the founder of Manaptha. We build and teach people how to build toilets. I'm from Calgary, Alberta, in Canada.
Great, thank you. Yari, do you want to go next?
Can you hear me?
Mihai, yes, I can hear you. If you want to go forward with your introduction, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I couldn't really hear you. I'm at Starbucks, so there's a lot of interference. Anyway, my name is Mihai, and I'm working on this project called Welcome to digitize people's actions towards social impact. So nice to meet everybody.
Thank you. Yari, do you want to go next? Yeah.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Yari Watson. I am currently based out of Oakland, Illinois, and excited to be on this call with Impaction.
Thank you. And then, Shanti, you might.
Hi, everyone. I am from San Jose, California. I'm fairly new here, and yeah, I'm looking forward to.
Great, thank you. And Ashwath, I'm going to provide a very brief introduction about what we're doing, and then I'll ask you to introduce yourself as well. Yeah. So, as you all know, today we're talking to DC-based Ashwath Narayan. He's a Forbes Under 30 scholar and one of the co-founders of Culture Media Co. They create impactful and effective social campaigns that stand out amongst all the noise that we see. They're here to help brands, nonprofits, and social entrepreneurs leverage online content while reaching out to the right target audience. So Ashwath will be speaking to us about his mission, and will also provide some advice on how we can improve our online presence. So Ashwath, I'll turn it over to you. Do you want to introduce yourself and then go into the presentation about what Culture Media Co. does?
Sure, thank you so much. So yeah, I'm Ashwath. I'm based out of DC. I'm a sophomore at the George Washington University, and I'm studying political science and journalism right now. And so just a little bit about my background. I graduated high school 2018. I took a gap semester after high school to work full-time at a marketing agency, and that's where I got into the space of branding and marketing and social media management. But I've been involved in this space for the last 4 years. I've been on social media ever since I can remember. And I'm really excited about how I can use my branding experience to help social socially impactful brands and socially impactful campaigns. And that's what culture media is about. And so being in DC, you're at an intersection of politics, nonprofit, and business, and you don't really see all of these three sectors interact. And that's where Culture Media Co. comes in, where we want to make sure we want to make sure that there's an intersection between the for-profit space and the nonprofit space, and we want to make sure that we're tapping into our for-profit contacts and our for-profit network to help the nonprofit space. And so that's what culture is about. I'll go into our presentation. Let me just share my screen. So can everyone see my screen?
Yeah.
Awesome. So we're in a nutshell, we're a creative agency. We do everything from graphic design to business development to social media management to anything that's basically creative related. And so we want to focus mainly on helping nonprofits and socially impactful brands. And in today's world, there's so many brands out there, there's so many businesses. And so it's often hard for people to figure out what works and how to target the right audience. And so we're here to help people do that. So we have two main values that we want to provide. One of them is to help nonprofits and social entrepreneurs reach out to their audience. And so what I've often noticed working with nonprofits is they often undermine the value of social media. And so we want to help them bring in social media to reach, more funding bases, to reach more people who come to their events, and to make their functioning more effective. And so we want to provide cheap, subsidized services to nonprofits so that we can help them, and to social entrepreneurs. And I'll go into this a little later, but what you'll find is branding and marketing for social entrepreneurs is very similar to branding for for-profit businesses, but there's a little line that you have to tread on to do it right. And so I'll be going into that later. And so I'm 19, and I'm part of the Gen Z population that's kind of going to grow and become the largest consumer segment in the world in 2020. And a lot of brands are not sure what to do about that, because Gen Z is very different from its previous generation, which is millennials. And so Gen Z wants more progressive content. We want more stuff that is sustainable, and we want more social entrepreneurship. And so we help brands reach out to Gen Z in a better way through social media, because we know what we want, and we want to help brands reach out and make sure that they're able to reach out to their audiences in the right way. And that's another value we provide. And so this is where we bring in revenue and keep cash flow generating so that we can help nonprofits and social entrepreneurs. So all our services, we do social media management and strategy, we do design, we do content strategy, we do writing plus SEO, blogs, how to optimize your website so that it's more effective on Google. We do Gen Z marketing, and we also do business development. And so this is our internal media. I'll show you our website after this presentation. We have our Instagram page. We actually just crossed 1,000 followers recently, and so we're really excited about that. We also run a blog, and we do a lot of video and audio content where we try to interview entrepreneurs, social entrepreneurs, and give them a platform. So current work, what we're currently working on. So we work with Game Genius, which is a DC-based startup, and what they do is they build games to help nonprofits and charities. And so they build public games, and right now we're working with them to organize a National Women's History Treasure Hunt in DC. And so this is in partnership with the National Women's History Museum, and it's a fundraiser for them. And so we're trying to help them spread the word. We're trying to get them participants and raise money for the event. We're also working with Test Prep for Success, which is an SAT tutoring organization based out of Pennsylvania. We're doing ads for them and optimizing their ad spend. And then we also just closed our recent social client, and we're working with NoNap, which is a napkin that detects whether your drink has been tampered with or not. And so we're really excited about this, and I'll go into this a little more when I'm talking about branding. But we're really excited about working on a social business and kind of figuring out how to brand them in a way that makes them welcoming, while also ensuring that they're able to spread a lot of resources about culture and about what the work they're doing. And so we're also currently working on building a portfolio so that we can get new clients. We're a fairly new company. We've been operating for only a month, and so a portfolio is really important for us. Like I said, we're an impact-driven creative agency. We're based out of DC and New York, and we want to help social entrepreneurs reach more people. We want to help social businesses reach more people, and we do that through our services. This is our co-founding team. I mentioned what I do. We're all students. Ethan's a senior at GW. Dylan's a sophomore based out of New York. And we've collectively spent over 10 years working with nonprofits and working in the social media and storytelling space. And so we're trying to bring these experiences to help more people and see how we can best help entrepreneurs. And so, we're always open to partnerships. We love talking to entrepreneurs. We love giving out consulting sessions. So you can always email us at info. You can call me, and that's my number. And we love to chat with everyone. And I'm going to quickly just go over our website. So this is our website. We just launched it recently once we hit 1,000 followers. It's really basic. It just tells you about the services, but we also have a blog section that we like to update now and then. And we have a contact section where if you're interested in getting our services, or if you're interested in reaching out to us and we don't reply via Instagram or text message, then you can always fill this out and someone will get in touch with you via email. So at this point, if anyone has any questions, let me know and I will answer them.
I got a question.
Awesome. So I'm now going to go into talking about branding.
Hold on. Ashwath, I think someone had a question.
I got a question.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, when you say I'm not in Generation Z at all.
Yeah.
That older. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Like, how would you describe that marketing in
Right. No, of course. I love that question because so Gen Z is basically 1996 and above, 1996 to 2004, and people born then. And so what I mean by that is a lot of the teens nowadays are looking for content that is highly branded and also that is sustainable, that is more progressive in nature. And so you can see this culture where brands like, have you heard of Tom's? So Tom's is a brand, it's a shoe brand, and what they do is for every shoe they sell, they donate one pair, and they also do a lot of work with gun violence prevention and a lot of social campaigns. And so brands are starting to notice that they have to be more socially conscious and socially aware. They have to give back to the community if they want to be liked by Gen Z. And so what I mean by Gen Z marketing is brands have to understand that they have to be sustainable, that they have to kind of give back to the community and they can't take advantage of it. And so there's this huge cultural shift where brands are starting to notice this and are trying to tie their social content around it. And so I was going to go into this a little later, but if you've been following Doritos and their branding, 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, Doritos launched this branding campaign where they removed their logo from their social media and replaced it with a typeholder that said your logo is here. And they took out ads in a lot of public spaces that took out all of their branding. And so what they thought that meant is that Gen Z doesn't like branding. And so that was very wrong, because it was Gen Z loves branding. We just love branding that is socially aware. And so you're going to see this huge shift in the consumer market, and brands are trying to figure out how to meet that shift. And so that's basically Gen Z marketing. Does that answer your question?
Kinda, because I'm a nonprofit, so I'm trying to like put it into my own context. We can talk more about this later, so I'll let you continue your conversation.
Yeah, for sure. Again, with also what I mean by Gen Z marketing is like we're now the generation is moving more towards everyone is on social media. We've grown up on social media, and so we're starting to curate our social media in a way that is, we see what we like. We're not following more people. We're following less people. And so in terms of a nonprofit, it's important that you're showing content that is more valuable to people, that they learn something from, rather than just putting up content that can draw clicks. And so you'll see the shift between like engagement-related content and more value-provided content. And I'll go into that a little later too. But with branding for social entrepreneurs, I'm going to take a case study of NoNap, which is the napkin that we're just bringing on. And so what we're doing with NoNap is we're starting from scratch, where we're doing all their colors, we're doing their whole brand look. And so what we're doing there is we're creating 2 case study focus groups, and we're going to be experimenting different colors. And if you look at things like sexual assault, things like rape, things that the words that surround that brand, we're trying to think of colors that make it welcoming for victims and make it a safe space. And so we're going to be playing around with the colors and making sure that people feel welcome. And so in the social space, you have to make sure that everything from the color of the brand to the font that you're using is important. And so with their logo right now is a bright red, and that might be triggering for a lot of people. And so we want to make sure that they're on brand when they're like, maybe they're, a shade of blue. And so we're going to experiment with different colors and see what people like. And that's usually a really good way to go about setting your brand, is to, put it in front of a few people and see what they respond to, see what they like, see how comfortable they are with the content that you're putting up. And so that's something we're going to do. But branding for social entrepreneurs is extremely important, because in today's world, brand is important. Let's take the example of Starbucks. Everyone goes to Starbucks not for the coffee, but for the brand, for the status that comes with it. And so you have to understand that even with nonprofits, people might come back to you because they find something that they resonate with. And to find something that they resonate with, you have to set up the proper colors. You have to set up the proper content. They have to learn. They have to, feel like they're getting something from your branding on social media. And I think that's really important. That's really important in today's world. And now I'm going to go a little bit into resources that you can use to set up this branding, free resources that I started off with to, do this branding. And I'm going to share my screen again. So the first one is Canva. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of this, but Canva is extremely easy to use for design. It's drag and drop. You can create a design really easy. You can search up templates. And so I'm going to just look up an Instagram template really quick. And yeah, so you can search templates. So maybe I want to do a fundraiser. Couldn't find fundraiser. So I want to do an event that's dog related, and so you can search events. You can drag and drop. You can play around. You can change the colors. You can change the font, and it's really easy for people to design using Canva, and it can be really effective with social media. And so Canva is always a really good resource to use to kind of get started on your social media management and get started on your social media strategy. And so there's a lot of resources like Canva. There's Adobe Spark. If you are in university, your university usually provides the Adobe Suite for free, and so you can use that. But if you also have an Adobe subscription for other Adobe platforms, Adobe Spark is a drag and drop template-based design software that you can use online. And it's really effective, and often like when I need something, when a client asks me for something in 5 minutes, I just use Adobe Suite because it's so easy to use and it's so effective. And so Adobe Suite is really nice that way. And then other softwares like Asana are really effective in managing your team and in assigning tasks and planning out your social media calendars. And so what I've noticed with social media is it's really important for you to plan out what you're doing in advance so that you're prepared. So for example, for me, what we do at Culture is we meet every Sunday. We're actually meeting right after this call, and we're going to sit down and we're going to shoot 2 hours worth of video content. And then we're going to plan that out for the rest of the week or for 2 weeks. And that's in that way we have content that's going out every single day or every 2 days. And it makes us, it also reduces the amount of work we have to do for that week. I'm going to take a pause here, see if you guys have any questions.
I have a question about customer interviews. So how did you understand who your target customer was, and then how did you curate your branding towards that customer? So like the research behind it, the data behind it, and then also how to fulfill that customer's best needs. So for you, I guess it would be Gen Z, right?
Yeah, so do you mean customer as in clients for Culture? Or?
Yeah. Well, you have business-to-business contacts mostly, right? So how are you curating material for that?
Right. So actually what we do is, that's actually a good transition into what I was going to talk about next, which is the different platforms. And so what we do is we do different content for each platform. And so right now what we're doing is we're doing Twitter, we're doing Facebook, we're doing Instagram, and we're doing LinkedIn. And so Culture Media is a B2B business, and so that's why LinkedIn is extremely important for us. And what we do on our LinkedIn is every day we post articles analyzing current business trends, and we post valued content that we feel other businesses would like. And we also post social media tips and tricks. And so how we reach our customer in that way is by providing value. And that's central to us, where we've identified that our customer is someone who's looking for social media management, but is also probably does not want to pay for it. And so we make it easier where we're giving them tips and tricks on how to do it. And then we're like, if you want to learn more, you can come to us. And so when we provide them with something, they're going to associate that action where if they're using that tip on their social media, they're going to associate it with us, and then they're going to come back to us. And so that's how we use our LinkedIn. But for our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, what we're trying to do is we're trying to build up a network of social activists and Gen Z individuals, so that when we're marketing for a brand, we can use our Instagram and our Facebook as selling points by saying that we have 1,000 people on our Instagram who will be interested in your brand. And so that's how we kind of build our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter around mobilizing young people and mobilizing young people around different causes. And so what we do there is we share a lot of, content that we know young people will like. We know we like ourselves and we'd like to see it. And so we share that content. And I can show that to you really quick.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah.
And so if you scroll down, what we did on our Instagram is we created cute graphics like this that kind of were motivational in nature, but we also created graphics that were informative. And so what we do is a mixture of education, but also motivation around topics related to, sustainability, fast fashion, Gen Z, activism, self-love, mental health. And so we've noticed that a lot of people like content like this. For example, Gen Z stats were shared over 30 times, or gun violence in the United States were shared over 30 times too. And so what we do is we try to spread awareness and information on our social media, and that's the main way we try to reach our businesses or our clients, is by basically just giving value. But other things we do to identify our customers is a lot of networking. And so it's always me talking to people, me going to different events, me constantly meeting with people and talking to them about my idea, but also just wanting to help them in their business. Because what I've found is that if you go to people and talk to them with the expectation that they are going to pay you for your value, then nothing happens. But if you go there with just the mindset that you're going to give them value, that you want to help them, people love that, and people, really it'll come back to you eventually. And so we're really big on providing value, on just helping people. And that's one of the main reasons why we've done a lot of pro bono work now. We provide free consultation sessions to anyone who wants it. We do a lot of free designs and design work with a lot of people who want it. And so that's really central to our business, where we just want to help people and in a way that we can, which is through social media, marketing, and business development. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
So,
yeah,
go on.
No, I was going to ask, does anyone have any questions or anything?
I had one question.
Go ahead.
What about people who are not too keen on using social media? And like myself, for example, I try not to use Facebook or Instagram or really anything like that. Because, it's a lot of, it eats up a lot of my time, and there's also emotional things associated with it as well. And so, what would be a solution to doing that when running a business? Is there a way to have that for you?
Right, for sure. So with a lot of marketing, so for us, what usually works is, and with a lot of businesses that are B2B, what works in that case is to create meetup groups and to create physical events that people can come to and talk to and meet people. And so that's a good way to stay in touch with people, where you start a meetup and meet every Sunday, and you just come together to talk about ideas that are related to your industry. And so if you're a nonprofit, you can try to get different nonprofit leaders and just talk and create a platform for people to share ideas on what they're doing, to have collaborations, to just basically a forum or a community for people to interact with each other. And that's usually a really good way to do it, because then you create long-lasting relationships. And so we're really big on doing that, where you can use the meetup, you can meet at a coffee shop, you can meet, in your office, you can meet at someone's house and just meet. So that's a good way to do marketing as well, where you're meeting. But what I've also found is a lot of people, if they're not on Instagram or Facebook, they are on email. And so you can curate a newsletter that's not, sending out every week, but that's once a month. And that just, has the highlights of what you're up to, and that's transparent on what your organization is doing. And that's a good way to reach people. And so it's really important that you're able to communicate with people in some way, whether that's through Meetup or whether that's through email. But social media isn't always the best strategy to do that. Some people are more, comfortable with email or meeting in person, and so that's one way to reach them.
Okay, thank you.
So, anyone has any other questions, feel free to ask me. Awesome. So I'm going to continue talking. So a little bit more into social media and, maybe some tips that I've learned over time. And so it's really basic, but one of the things I've noticed with social media is a lot of people get stuck on the algorithm and kind of, trying to take advantage of it. But what I found is that you should not do that. Like, stop trying to take advantage of the algorithms. Stop trying to hack social media. The best way to do social media is to give value. Best way to do anything in life is to give value, is to help people. And so on social media, like, I know that, maybe short captions are more catchy and easier for people to read. But what we do is we try to write long captions that give value. And so when we're talking about something like gun violence prevention, and I mention this a lot because I do a lot of work in gun violence prevention and all, but like we try to, talk about the issue and give more information through the long caption. And so that that the people who are reading it and commenting it are actually the people who care. And so you're able to identify this niche audience that cares. And so it's important that you write long captions, that you post more often on social media, but also post stuff that you think will provide value to people. Like a lot of Instagram is about images because images get more likes, but sometimes, a graphic with a statistic might be mind-blowing to people because they might learn something new. And so try to teach people something new with your social media. Try to, give them things that they can take back from. And you'll see that that's really effective because I've walked into meetings and people have been like, oh, I saw your graphic on this. Could you tell me a little bit more about it? Or I've walked into pitch meetings where I've been like, Gen Z is really effective. And here's the statistic we put on our Instagram about Gen Z or about, businesses in the United States or businesses across the world. And so it's really important that you be mindful of the algorithm, but also don't try to take advantage of it and don't try to hack it. And in terms of social media platforms, Instagram is obviously at the number one right now. It's really effective, but LinkedIn is really growing. And if you're B2B, LinkedIn is really effective because you get the most organic reach. So how LinkedIn works is if someone likes your post, everyone in their network can see your post. And so LinkedIn is really effective with sharing content to people who don't know you. And so it can be really effective for your business. And so if you're not posting on LinkedIn, you should be right now because it's at a peak and eventually it's going to become saturated like Instagram, but right now it's like the perfect time to get started on LinkedIn. And a simple way to do that is either every morning share an article you like, or at the end of the day talk about things that you did with your business. It can be as simple as, I went to a meeting today and I heard this quote and I think that's really interesting and I want to hear you guys and what you guys think about it. And so it can be really simple where you just ask for opinions and, you just tell people what you did today and be transparent with your business. And so LinkedIn's really effective. And another platform that's up and coming is TikTok. A lot of people do not like TikTok because it's primarily filled with middle schoolers right now. But that's what Instagram was 4 years ago. And the rate at which TikTok is growing right now is huge. And a lot of people think that TikTok is going to be the future of marketing. And so it's not a good time to start creating content, but it's a good time to start being on TikTok and just looking at the kind of content that people are creating. And so if you're not on TikTok, just try downloading the app and looking at what people are doing and trying to just see how stuff works on TikTok and what they're doing. And so TikTok is important. Facebook's always been big. Facebook's been good, but it's also coming down right now. A lot of the older audience is on Facebook. And so with B2B, Facebook is really important. Not as important as LinkedIn, but it's really important. And so you should be doing Facebook. And another kind of practice that we do at Culture is the document, not create model. And this is basically if you're going into meetings or if you're working and you're going to be talking a lot, just put up a video camera or put up your phone, record the content, and put it on your Instagram. And how that works is if you shoot a video for 30 minutes, you can break that video into different pieces of content. And so suppose I shot a 20-minute video interviewing a social entrepreneur. Here's what I would do. So I would take the video, put it on YouTube, put it on Instagram TV, the full video, put it on Facebook. Then I would take quotes from the video and create graphics out of it to put on all the platforms. I would take the content that was being spoken on the video and create a blog post. I would take quotes and tweet them on Twitter. I would take snippets from the video and make smaller videos that I can share. And so what you'll notice is this 30-minute video, you can create 30 pieces of content that you can post the whole month. And so it's really a sustainable model where I know that a lot of nonprofits and a lot of companies don't have the resources to sit and create 30 different pieces of content. And so what you can do with this is you can sit down for 3 hours or 2 hours, shoot that 30-minute video, and then break it down into different pieces that you can use, everywhere. And so the document, not create model is really effective. When you start documenting stuff instead of creating everything, you'll see how much more easier it becomes to do stuff. And so that's what we do at Culture, where every Sunday we shoot a video and then we break it down. And that's really effective with social media. And any questions at this point?
I think the idea about getting someone to talking to an entrepreneur on this call and then helping them with their particular thing, I think might be a good test case for this entire call. What do you think?
Right, so a consulting session?
Yeah, we can do.
Awesome.
We can go.
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome.
Does anyone want to go?
So anyone volunteer, and then ultimately Ashwath can hold an informal consulting session for your individual social enterprise. Yeah?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Awesome. Can you give me your Instagram?
Sure. How do I do that? Can I message it right on here?
Or just tell me your Instagram at.
Oh, it's called Manavta. So MANAVTA project. Project spelled project.
Awesome. So let me see if I have this right. We equip communities and schools in rural parts of the world with tools to build low-cost sanitation and reduce open defecation. Is that right?
Correct.
Awesome. Let me open your website too.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was going to ask if you can see the screen.
Okay, I can share the screen.
Oh, wonderful.
Can everyone see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do a quick overview of your social media. Then I'm gonna give suggestions on what you can do, and then I'm gonna just leave it open for your questions on if you have any related to what I'm talking about or anything related to social media in general. So I love the fact that you have highlights. I love highlights. Everyone, it's a really good thing to have because when someone comes to your brand profile, this is the first thing they see. And so it's really important for you to have highlights. And so a suggestion could be to add more highlights. And what you could do is add a team highlight because it's really important that people see who's behind this project and see who's doing it. And so a team highlight can be a fun way to do that. I'm going to go through the highlights real quick. Awesome. So I love that you update the highlights regularly, but adding a team highlight is one suggestion. With your posters, with your designs. So I see that the last post was on September 2nd, suggestion to post every day, or at least multiple times a week. And so what you could be doing is you could be running campaigns and so, a sample campaign could be about the team. A sample campaign could be what we're working on right now. A sample campaign could be awareness on low-cost sanitation, where you could share facts not only in your highlight, but also on your feed and share more information regarding that. And so that would provide information about your brand and about your nonprofit organization. And so it would help more people learn more. And another sample campaign you could run could be, how can you help? It could be hashtag how you can help. And then you can talk about how people can contribute to your project. And it can be an effective way to mobilize people on social media and be like, if someone comes to your Instagram and it's like, what can I do? And then they see this post that says how you can help, then they'll know exactly how to help. And so that'll help people connect with you and also help you maybe get volunteers or maybe get fundraise people who are donating. And so that can be a good way to do it. Just some simple things with hashtags. So a good number is usually 20 to 30. And what you should do with hashtags is you should search the hashtag and see how many people are using the hashtag. And then you should use a mix of hashtags that are not searched as often and hashtags that are searched really often, so that you cover all people. And it's usually better to put the hashtag in the caption. Yeah, so I was saying, I love that you're applying to comments. That's a really good thing to do. It's always important to engage with your audience. So yeah, that's a little bit about Instagram. I'm just rolling through this real quick so that you have time to ask any questions. With your website, I love your website. I love that you have a blog. A blog is a really good way to build your SEO. And so how Google works is, if you keep updating your website regularly, it'll rank your website higher in the search engine. And so it's important that you keep updating your website so that Google knows you're updating it and ranks it higher in the search engine. So yeah, love the blog. Another thing to do on your social media is to write a blog and then share it on your social media so that you can direct people from your Instagram to your website and from your website to your Instagram to your Facebook. And so that's really important to do. You could run a resources campaign on your on your Instagram where you share resources from your website, and you can link your website. And so download our infographic. Gonna do that real quick. So you could convert these infographics into social media posts and put them on your Instagram because they look really nice. And I know people would love to see infographics like that. And so that's something you could do. Yeah, that's like an overview. If you have any questions.
Not so much. I think I hear a lot of the same stuff whenever I get these little audits done.
Right.
My question to you, though, is because our work is, like I live in Canada, but our work is in Nepal. So when we don't have any projects that are running, like physical projects that we're actually building toilets and things like that,
yeah.
I kind of get stuck. So I kind of get stuck in a way that I don't really know what to post.
Yeah.
Right? Like, is it just statistics and things like that? And I
get
a little bit like stuck.
Yeah, it's hard because like if you're not working on something currently, what do you talk about? And so that's where statistics comes in, where you post statistics, you post, you update your blog, or you can talk about stuff you've done before. You don't always have to talk about the stuff that you're currently working on, because you can do Throwback Thursdays, Throwback Tuesdays. You can do Statistics Saturdays, Statistics Sundays. You can do blog posts. You can share information. The trick with social media is to keep doing it constantly. And so you'll find, like, if you find an interesting article related to sanitation, talk about it. If you, someone at another organization that's doing a lot of cool, good work in sanitation, but is approaching it from a different angle that you're not doing, you can give them a shout out. You can highlight them. And so what that does is it promotes their organization, and they're also more likely to share what you shared about them. And so you get featured on their platforms as well. And so that's a really good way to reach out to their audience. And so it's really good that you share other people's content while also, highlighting them, highlighting the work they're doing. You can, you can always do statistics and throwbacks.
Thank you.
No problem. Does anyone have any general questions related to social media, or would anyone else like to do a quick consulting session?
Going once. Going twice. And also, you guys have Ashwath's contact as well, so even if something comes up after the call, you can, I don't know, Ashwath, sorry, I'm speaking on behalf of you. Is it okay if they contact you?
Yeah, no, of course. Just
okay.
Email me, ashwath@culturemedia.co. I'm always open to do one-on-one consulting sessions with others. Just a little bit of background into what we do with a consulting session. So it would be a lot more research than this. Yeah, of course, I can do that. So with a consulting session, we'll know that we're going into a consulting session before. And so what we do is the three of us, which is the co-founding team, we sit down, we go through your social media, we go through what you could be doing better, and then we put together a pitch, which is very similar to the one I did about us, except it has your social media and has your pages. And so we do that. We give you sample campaigns to run. And we do this, we're really open to doing this free of cost. We just want to help people. And so if you're interested in getting a session that's more comprehensive than this one, feel free to email me and we can schedule something later this week or month or whatever works for you. And we're always open to interviewing people. And so if you're interested in getting some PR or getting some, getting your website out there, we do features, so we could shout out your organization, we could interview you, we could write a blog post feature about you and put it on our website so that it comes up when people search for you. So, yeah.
We might actually take you up on that at Impaction.
Yeah, no, go for it. We would love to do that.
Awesome. Okay, you guys, we're going to wrap up if there aren't any additional questions. And if there are any questions for us or anything that you that you need help support in, we will definitely help you out. You guys know where you can find us. But yeah, other than that, thank you, Ashwath, so much.
Thank you for having this. It was great talking to everyone.
Thank you. Yeah, this was super informative. Not even hopefully for our community members, but also for us at Impaction. So thank you so much.
No problem.
So yeah, everyone, please check out our previous video by clicking this button, and subscribe to our channel by clicking this button. But other than that, please tell your friends and family to join these types of sessions. We have them every other week. And it's always a great learning opportunity to interview and also just to hear from innovators and how to create a better world for everyone. But thank you so much for joining, and let us know if you need help or anything in the future. We're always here.